Welcome to all my friends. I am so glad that you have joined us today. Welcome to Pittsboro Baptist Church Vacation Bible School. Now I know things look a little different this year. You're watching us on the other side of the screen. And I can tell you we are super sad that you're not here with us. We don't get to see your smiling faces. We don't get to hear your sweet voices. But you are going to have the opportunity today to participate with us. We're still having our worship rally, we're still doing our crafts, and we have an amazing Bible story to share with you. So today, I want you to stand up and I want you to participate in the worship rally. I want to hear you sing and dance and see all the awesome moves that you do. You know, we have a pretty good theme here, an underwater theme. It's pretty awesome, all the decorations that we have. But it all ties into our bigger story, and our story about God being the anchor in our life. So this week and over the next 3 days, when you're doing your craft and when you're hearing the Bible stories and when you're listening to the words of the song, just remember that God is the anchor in your life. You'll hear some pretty awesome stories this week, and I hope that you keep them in your heart forever. So stick around today because we do have a new friend this year at VBS, and I can't wait for you to meet him. Sailor Sam's his name, but I'm going to let him introduce himself at the end. I hope you guys have a great time today.
Hey friends, we are so excited to be your worship rally team at VBS this year. Allow me to introduce the team. We've got Coastal Kenzie, Castaway Kaylee, Lobster Luke, and you can call me Harpoon Hannah. This year we'll be singing and dancing with you each day, so make sure you've got plenty of dancing room. Invite your friends over and jam out with them, and make sure you get mom and dad dancing too.
Our first song this year is one of my favorites. It's called God is For Me. It's all about the great big world that God has created and how He fits us into His creation. Now, the world might be really big and scary at sometimes, but we know that God is always leading us each day.
All right, are y'all ready to learn the dance? So let's stand up, and again, make sure you've got plenty of dancing room. If you need mom and dad to move that coffee table, you just ask them to move that coffee table because we've got some dancing to do. So we start out this song with some waves to the side. So let me see those waves. Just one side, the other side. Back and forth, you can get those hips into it. We just want to make sure you're having lots of fun. All right. I think y'all have got those waves down, so let's move on to the first verse. We're gonna looking out. Let me see big looking out. It's a great big world. Let me see big hands. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Let me just hold those hands together. Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. The maker of all the universe, big hands, is on my side. That's right. Y'all got the whole first verse. Do you want to do it again? Should we do it from the top? All right. So we start out with those waves. Let me see those waves. To the side, and then we're going to look out. Looking out. It's a great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. The maker of all the universe is on my side. Perfect. Are y'all ready for the chorus? Think they're ready for the chorus? All right, they're definitely ready for the chorus. So we're gonna start out pointing up to God. If God is for me, who can be against me? If God is for me, who can be against me? Now this is where you get to show me all those muscles. He is my strength. He is my friend. Just wrap those fingers around each other. He is my friend forever. So let me see those dance moves. God is for me. Who can be against me? Should we do that chorus one more time? All right, let's point those hands up to God. If God is for me, who can be against me? If God is for me, who can be who can be against me? He is my strength. He is my friend forever. If God is for me, who can be against me? We've got one more part to learn. Do you think you can do it? I think they can do it. All right. Let's point up to our brains. When I just don't understand, and from the chorus we take this part, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, let me see those L's out there. And then we take it down low and bring it up. When life doesn't go the way I planned, you write out that plan. God is for me. And then we repeat it. When I just don't understand, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, God is for me. And that's it. You know the whole song.
All right, friends, we hope you enjoyed this dance as much as we do. Now get up and show us your dance moves.
Looking out, it's a great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. The maker of all the universe is on my side. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, he is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? Yeah, man. God is for me. Looking out, it's a great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing on my mind. The maker of all the universe is on my side. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, he is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? When I just don't understand, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, God is for me. When I just don't understand, God is for me. When life doesn't go the way I planned, God is for me. And if God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me? He is my strength, he is my friend forever. God is for me, who can be against me? God is for me, who can be against me?
Welcome to Anchored Deepening in Faith. This is Pittsboro Baptist Church's 2020 Vacation Bible School. Hi, my name is Miss Jenny, and I am so glad you are joining us today. 2020 has been a scary year, hasn't it? Back in March, most everything was closed. There was no going out to eat, no running to the mall. Thankfully, the grocery stores were open, but even then, stuff you needed wasn't always there, like toilet paper. You couldn't go to school, you couldn't hang out with your friends, you had to stay home. Some of your parents weren't even allowed to go to work. I will tell you, it has been a scary time for me too. But then I think about God and remember that with all the weird COVID-19 stuff, God loves me and has a plan for me. God is faithful.
What does faithful mean? It means that you will always keep your word. Well, sometimes you and I don't always do what we say we're going to do, but God always does. God promises to love us, and He promises to listen to us when we talk to Him, which is what we call prayer. God never quits loving us and never quits listening to us because He is faithful. Today, I would like to introduce you to a man named Luke. Luke was a Christian, which means Christ follower. He had a good friend who was also a Christian named Paul. The two of them were traveling together one time and things got very, very scary. Listen carefully to Luke's story and find out how God was faithful to them.
Thank you, Miss Jenny, for that introduction. I am excited to be a part of Pittsboro Baptist Church Vacation Bible School this year. As Miss Jenny said, my name is Luke. You may have heard of me. I wrote the book Luke, one of the Gospels in the Bible's New Testament. There are 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, mine is the third one, that's Luke, and then John. Do you know what the word gospel means? It means good news. And each of the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, tell the good news about Jesus Christ. Anyway, I want to tell you the story I wrote in another book of the Bible called Acts. The story is about a good friend of mine named Paul. Paul was such an interesting man, and there are so many stories I could tell you about him, but that will have to wait until another day. Today I'm going to tell you about the time the 2 of us were sailing on a ship. This was not a fun trip. Paul was a prisoner. Jewish leaders did not like that Paul was telling people that Jesus was the Son of God. And they made up lies about him and had him arrested. We lived in the Roman Empire ruled by Caesar, the emperor. Paul said he wanted to go before Caesar to tell him what happened. This meant we had to go to Rome, where Caesar lived. And the best way to get there was by sailing a ship, which would take a long time. As I told you, Paul was a prisoner, so there were Roman soldiers traveling with us to guard him and make sure he didn't escape. The centurion in charge was named Julius. Even though Paul was his prisoner, Centurion Julius was very kind to Paul. Back then, ships did not have engines and motors like they have today. The only way ships moved was with wind in the sails. That was not a good time of the year to sail anyway, because the wind could blow very strongly, making it very dangerous to sail. We had to make several stops at different cities along the way. And when we stopped at the city of Myra, we had to change ships. It was a cargo ship carrying corn to Rome, and when we left Myra, the weather changed and the seas began to get rough. And it was so bad that the ship's master decided to stop for a while in the city port of Fair Havens. Now, by the time we got to Fair Havens, it was October. Paul had been on boats a lot, and he had traveled to many countries to tell people about Jesus' love. Paul knew that this was a terrible, dangerous time to be sailing. He suggested to the centurion and the ship's master that they stay in Fair Havens through the winter until the weather got better. You know, he told them they could lose the cargo and the ship could wreck and they could all be killed. Did I tell you the owner of the ship was also with them? He wanted to get his ship to Rome so he could be paid for all that corn that he was carrying. And Centurion Julius was one of those who was going to make that final decision about traveling. And the ship's owner talked to Julius into traveling into a different harbor called Phoenix, where they could stay for the winter. We got off to a good start sailing along the shores of the island of Crete, and the ship's master and crew were very happy about how the trip was going. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this terrible wind from the northeast hit, and the ship's crew was having a difficult time keeping the ship under control. And they were afraid, and the ship was going to run aground and onto the citrus sands of North Africa. Now, many ships had been wrecked at the citrus sands, and it was a horrible storm, and the waves were pounding the ship. It was raining so hard we could not see the sun during the day and the moon and the stars at night. We had no idea of even where we were. The second day of the storm, the crew began throwing cargo overboard. On the third day, they threw spare equipment. It was so scary. We had no hope we were even going to be rescued. Of course, with all this going on, we weren't able to eat anything. Here we were in the middle of this raging storm, hungry and scared, and Paul stands up and starts talking in a calm voice. And he told them they should have listened to him and stayed in Fair Havens, and all this damage and loss would not have happened. Then Paul said to us, you know, things are looking up because no one's going to drown. He knew this because one of God's angels had told him. He said an angel of God had come to him that very night and said to him, don't give up, Paul. You are going to go before Caesar yet, and everyone sailing with you is going to make it. Now Paul told everyone to cheer up, that he believed and that he knew that God was going to do exactly what he said he would do. Now Paul said we would shipwreck on some island, but we would not all die. We had been out on the ocean 14 days. The crewmaster had no control of the ship. We were drifting in the Adriatic Sea and it was dark, but in the distance we could hear the sound of waves breaking on the rocks on the beach, and they threw in sounding rope to see how deep it was, and it was 120 feet. The crew threw out anchors from the stern of the ship. That is in the back of the ship, by the way, with the hope that they would keep the ship from hitting the rocks. Then a few of the sailors lowered the little dinghy or lifeboat, saying they were going to check out and putting anchors out on the bow of the ship, which the bow of the ship, remember, is the front of the boat. Paul knew they were not telling the truth. He knew they were trying to escape the doomed ship to save themselves. But Paul told Centurion Julius that if everyone did not stay in the ship, they would not be saved. Julius ordered his soldiers to cut the ropes to the lifeboat, and it fell into the sea. And in the early morning, Paul urged everyone to eat, telling them they would need their strength for what was about to come. He passed out bread, and he said a prayer of thanks to God, and then we all ate. This made everyone feel much better, and they were not so discouraged. Now there were 276 people on that boat. And after they had eaten, they all took the corn they were supposed to deliver to Rome, and they threw it in the ocean. And they could see the shore, but they couldn't recognize where they were. And so the ship's crew thought they might be able to beach the ship. So they threw out the anchors and set sail with the plan, and the ship was beached. But the stern, remember the back of the boat, was being broken up by the rocks. And the Roman soldiers were planning to kill the prisoners because they were afraid they would escape. It was Roman law that if a prisoner escaped, the soldier guarding him had to take his place. And the centurion Julius told them not to do that. He did not want Paul to be killed. I had told you Julius was a nice guy. He told those who could swim to jump in, and those who could not swim were able to walk across the broken planks of the ship and make it to the beach. Everyone was saved. No one died. God kept His promise. Paul knew he would, because God is faithful.
Can you imagine being on a boat in a bad storm, like a hurricane, for 3 days? I can't. I would have been petrified. A big word for super scared. But how was Paul during the storm? He couldn't even move around very well with all those chains on him. Did he act scared when the wind was howling and the waves were crashing? No, he didn't. Paul was calm. He tried to calm down everyone else too. He even got people to eat, which made them feel better. Paul wanted them to be strong because he knew what was going to happen next. What was going to happen next? Did you say that the ship was going to wreck? That is correct. Paul told them that the ship was going to wreck, but he also told them that no one would die. That had to make them feel better, even though it was still very scary. How did Paul know that no one would die? Well, if you said an angel told him, then you would be right. The angel came from God, and Paul knew that if God told him something, it would be true. After being in a terrible, terrible storm for 3 days, then drifting in the ocean for 2 weeks, and ending up with a ship wrecking on the beach, all 276 people lived. Why? Because God said they would. There was nothing any of those 276 people could do about the storm. Not Paul or Luke or the centurion, but there was someone who had power over the storm and the waves, and that is God. You see, Paul was calm because he trusted God. He knew that God would do exactly what he said he would do. Is there something in your life that you feel you cannot do anything to change? Maybe there's someone who is being mean to you. Maybe your parents are fussing with each other. There are all kinds of scary and sad things that could be going on in your life, and you feel like you cannot do anything to change it. Well, I know someone who can help. It is God. You can talk to God, pray to Him, and ask Him to help you. God is all-powerful. God will do something to help you through difficult times, but remember, God may not always do it the way you expect, but He will help. God has made a lot of promises to us. Do you want to know where they are? Read the Bible. Reading the Bible is like God talking to us. It is a way to get to know Him better and to learn how much He loves us. When I'm scared about something, I always do 2 things. First, I pray. I talk to God and ask Him for help. Next, I read the Bible, and that calms me down. I know that I have no reason to feel scared, even when I'm in a scary situation. I know God will help me. You can do that too when you are scared. Pray and read the Bible, or get someone to read it to you. Remember, God is always faithful.
Good morning, boys and girls. I am so glad you are here at VBS here at Pittsboro Baptist Church. It is so cool to be with you on YouTube. I've never been on YouTube before. This is just like so cool. Oh my goodness. Now, and just think, all these times you've done Vacation Bible School, you're going to get to watch it over and over and over again, which you haven't been able to do before. It is so cool. Now, remember, part of craft time at VBS is, remember Mr. Tony and Miss Julie, we have to do our chants and get our Bible verse in. And I know you have heard it several times today. And it is just so important that you imprint these words in your mind and your heart. I'm just so glad that you're here. So now at your house, if you have boys and girls, I need the girls on this side and the boys on this side. All right, here we go. Girls, I want you to say, "Give thanks to the Lord." All right, let's do it one more time and then we'll get to the boys. All right, girls, give thanks to the Lord. Good job. All right, boys, your turn. Here we go. His love endures forever. Now I want to be able to hear you guys like down the street. All right, I know you can be louder than that. All right, boys. All right. His love endures forever. All right, now we're going to see how loud we can get all together. Wake up our neighbors. All right. We're going to do this together, boys and girls. All right, girls, give thanks to the Lord. Boys, His love endures forever. Yes, good job, guys. I am so proud of you. That was awesome. All right, now, are you ready to do some crafts? I know I am. I love to do glitter, glue, scissors, tape, whatever you have. It is awesome, so much fun. So now, our craft today for day one is going to be broken up into 2 parts. So our first part is for our pre-K kids, just finished kindergarten, and just finished first graders. So those of you 2nd grade and up, I want you go have a snack and come back in a few minutes. All right, so now those of you that pre-KK and 1st grade, get your bag that says day 1 and has a fish on a stick. And hopefully you're having fish sticks for snack later, but this is not the snack we're gonna eat. So anyway, this is the paper we're looking at here, okay? So you got your glue stick, you need some scissors, and a pen or pencil, crayon, whatever you have. Now, don't dump everything out of your bag because then you can't keep up with it. So, first thing we need is our colored paper. It's got this paper in here, it's kind of stiff, it's a little heavier than the other paper. So, get that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna trace our hand onto our paper, and you're gonna make sure to spread those fingers out wide. So I'm gonna trace my paper, or trace my hand on paper. You do the same thing. All right, now we get to use scissors. So cool. All right. Now, this is the time also that you can, since we are on YouTube, you can pause things and go get the things you need. If you need help with your scissors, ask your big brother or big sister, whoever's around, to help you out. I'm sure they will. Even I'm having trouble with scissors, and I use them almost every day. Now, while we're cutting our paper, I want to think about something. Have you ever heard anybody say the term ship shape? Well, they usually talk about things being in the right order and doing things the right way. Well, to me, a ship has a funny shape. So I don't know what they think about that, but who knows? Who knows? I'm almost done. How about you? I'm gonna beat you. Go, 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 go. I'm done. There we go. All right. Now I have to dip in my bag and get my popsicle stick. Because what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the side of my paper that doesn't have any color on it. I have to use my glue stick. And let's see. From the bottom, I'm going to put a line like this on the back, and that's where our popsicle stick goes, okay? So you can see. Now we can turn it over to this side. So what does a fish need to see where he's going? He needs eyes. So let's look in your bag and find your wiggly eye. All right, you have a wiggly eye? All right, let's go. Now we have to put our wiggly eye, really? We'll put it right there at the bottom of our thumb. Where did you put your eye? I hope you put it on your fishy, not on the table. Mom will not be happy if you get glue on the table. So now there's another little thing in your bag, and it is the fish lips. And they're little. They look like a heart that somebody cut the bottom off of. Now, fish lips, they're good for giving kisses. And when we give kisses to people we love. And one thing that God wants us to do is to show love to all the people we come in contact with. Doesn't mean we kiss them all, but we do need to show them love. Now, the good thing about these fish lips, we don't have to glue them. They have a sticker, and it just peels off the back. All right. And so then we can put this on the side. So now we have fish lips and fish eyes. Now, all the rest of the little gems in your bag are there to make you have a sparkly, special fish, just like you. There's only one of you and your fish. It's not going to look like anybody else either. So, take some time, put some glue on your fishy, wherever you want to, and then get out your gems and jewels and make your fish beautiful. Let's see what we got. Let's see who's going to beat me, huh? Who's going to beat me? Although this isn't really fair because you can stop the video anytime you want to. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. One more. Where's my glue? I lost it. There we go. Now we have our sparkly fish that's made just by you. All right, guys, great job. Now I want you to put your fish down and let it dry. And now you can go get a snack. And those of you guys who are in second grade and up can come back with me. So hang on one second, I have to get my next bag. Okay. Now, all right, welcome guys, you bigger kids. I am so glad that you are here today. We're gonna make a moving fish. And in your bag, you have something that looks kind of like this, okay? It says day 1, and it shows a fish that has some really big eyes. So that fish can see where he's going, I guess. We'll have to figure that one out. All right, so take your paper clip off and put your little picture, and then you have your instructions, all right, which I'm gonna talk you through. What we have here, in your bag, you're gonna have a piece of colored paper that's in the shape of a square. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take this square and we're gonna fold it corner to corner and make a triangle, okay? So, does everybody have a triangle? All right, now open it back up. Who's ever made a paper airplane? Oh, I've made a lot of paper. So the next move is going to be like a paper airplane. So we have to fold in towards that crease we just made in our paper. That fold, crease is a big word, I know. You can handle it though. You guys are big kids. So now our paper looks kind of like this. All right, so now we got to open it back up again. Here we go, one more time, open it up, because now what we have to do, we have to take, and you're gonna fold your paper back this way, back to your triangle, because now we have to make some cuts to make it look like our moving fish. All right, so now, you got your scissors? Good, I am so glad you do. All right, so, we have to start in, not all the way there, but come in a little ways, and we're gonna cut all the way to that crease, because that's gonna make our fish be wiggly. All right, I'm gonna back up a little bit there. I made mine a little too far apart. All right. All right, we don't wanna go all the way to the end. So now, let's see, the next thing we have to do, we have to open it up. Now comes the fun part with the glue. We're gonna put some glue on this inside part that was not cut. All right, and we're gonna put it back together. So now our fish kind of has a body. All right, we might have to put our hand in there and push it down a little bit, but that's okay, you can do that. All right, now we have to look in our bag, and you have a big piece of paper that I have no idea what shape it is, but kind of a roundish square kind of thing. This is going to be the inside of the fish's mouth. All right, and that is going to go right in there, just like that. All right, so we have to put some glue. You have one side, you can see the black lines. Our glue is going to go on the other side, okay? All right, now We gotta have our fish open his mouth, or I guess his body, and we're gonna give him a mouth. Put that in there like that. All right, now there should be another piece of a different color, but the same shape and a little bit smaller. Mine's green, yours might be orange or pink. I have no idea. We had some amazing people who put together craft kits for you guys, so I'm so glad that you're using them. All right, now that's gonna go in, because that's your fishy's tongue. All right, everybody with me? Yes. I know you're doing a great job. I know you are. Oh, I gotta look at my directions. I have to follow directions. Now, all right. So now you have another piece that is a heart. Turn that way. All right, this is your fishy's tail. Now, one thing we have to do, all right, we need more glue. I hope you guys have big glue sticks. All right, so you're gonna take that, put some glue there, and you're gonna glue that on the bottom of your fish. That's the bottom, and this is the top. So now you can see, and don't forget when the glue dries, it won't show up, but that way you can see where I put it, okay? All right, so now our fish has a tail. What does he need next? What do you think? Okay, you know what? Now, we have to get him some fins. He's gotta be able to swim. All right, so now look, and if you look at your bag, you should have another paper that matches your tail, and it looks like a heart that somebody cut in 2 pieces. Those are our fins. Our fishy can swim now. All right, and again, I'm gonna put glue on our fins. All right, and they're gonna get glued to the bottom also. So it looks like that on the bottom, but now from the front, your fishy has fins. He can swim. So cool. Now, how's he gonna see where he's going? He needs eyes. So cool. All right. So now, do you think the eyes should go on the bottom too? No, he wouldn't be able to see. So now his eyes are gonna go on the top. I'm putting one there. All right, so now our fishy has eyes. And at this time, we can see how the little parts break apart, and your fishy should be able to swim wherever you want him to go. Boys and girls, thank you so much for listening and following directions. If you got behind, don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to make up what you're doing and to finish this up on your own time and to get help if you need it. Now, I want to ask you guys a question real quick though. Let's see, you learned about some guy named Luke and his friend Paul. Were they on a plane? No. Where were they? They were on a ship, yes, on a big boat. And you know what? They probably saw some really cool fish in the ocean they were swimming in. So I hope you guys get to see some real fish this summer too. And keep in mind that we have to be careful with our arts and crafts stuff. Clean up your mess. Remember that God loves you and His love never runs out. It will be with you forever. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Ahoy there, mates! My name is Sailor Sam. I've been having so much fun here at Vacation Bible School, singing the worship rally songs, hearing Bible stories, and making crafts. I hope you are having fun too. Did you know that God talks to you? He talks to you through the Bible. I have to say that I don't always have my Bible with me, but God can still talk to me. You wanna know how? By memorizing verses from the Bible. There have been so many times when I wish I knew what God wanted me to do, and suddenly a Bible verse will pop into my head just like that. It is weird, but it always makes me feel better. We have a special Bible verse for our Vacation Bible School this week. It is from the book of 1 Chronicles in the Old Testament. Here is how it goes. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. 1 Chronicles 16:34. A good way to memorize a verse is to say it a little bit at a time. Let's say the first part. I will say it, then you repeat after me. Give thanks to the Lord. Now you say it. It is important that we say thank you to God. The next part of the verse tells you one of the 10 million bajillion reasons why we need to say thank you to God. I will say it, then you repeat after me. For he is good. Now, why do we say thank you to God? For he is good. Is that what you said? You are doing great. So let's put those two parts together. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Now your turn. Remember, we always need to tell God thank you. Why? Because he is good. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Now, for the second part of the verse. His faithful love endures forever. When you hear the word faithful, you know that it is something or someone you can count on. If a person says he or she will do something, then you better believe they will do it. His faithful love, you know that God loves you. How long will God love you? That is what the rest of the verse tells you. Endures forever. Endures means how long it will last. God will love you forever. Isn't that wonderful? So repeat after me. His faithful love endures forever. Excellent. Okay. Now, let's say the first part of the verse again. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Now the second part. His faithful love endures forever. Now you say it. Now, let us put the two together. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. Your turn. Fantastic! Now, one last thing. It is good to know where you find the verse in the Bible. This verse is from 1 Chronicles 16:34. Where's the verse from? Did you say 1 Chronicles 16:34? Brilliant! Now I'm going to say the whole entire verse, then you repeat after me. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His faithful love endures forever. 1 Chronicles 16:34. Your turn. Great! For the rest of the day, keep repeating that verse over and over and think about what it says. Until tomorrow, mates, goodbye from Sailor Sam.
Guys, I hope you had a great time today. The most amazing music, the awesome craft that you did with the fish and the hand fish, and then hearing that amazing story about Paul and how he was cool as a cucumber in this terrible storm, only because God told him it was going to be okay. He showed us his faith in God. It was pretty amazing. So what I want you to do, I want you to tell your friends about this. I want you to invite some friends over. And tomorrow I want you to come right back, same time, same place, and join us again. We'll have more dancing, more crafts, and the most amazing story you'll ever hear in your life. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Great big world. Where do I go? How do I fit in? Gotta keep this one thing